And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. The voice of rural America. I want to thank Carla. Carla's Corner every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. and also at 10 o'clock, the Katie Sassine Show. Let me tell you a little bit of what's going on. The first Monday, I think that'll be June 5th, is the first Monday in June, but that Monday will be launching. Now, every day at 10, you can watch a Katie Sassine Show, but we are launching a brand new Katie Sassine Show the first Monday of June. Katie will have a new set. She'll be going from 30 minutes to an hour, maybe longer, but right now we're just scheduling an hour. New set, plenty of guests, and so you don't want to miss starting the first Monday of June, the Katie Sassine Show. We're going to be doing a lot of marketing for that in the next 2 weeks, but that's at 10 o'clock. Now, folks, my number is 706-889-9700. Oh, excuse me, 9700. 706-889-9700. Now, I didn't have enough time. Carla comes in here. She moves all my stuff. Now I have to get it moved back over. I got to find my 3 pairs of glasses. Well, I got 2 here. Got to get those in case I got to see an article here. And I'll go with that. All right. Yesterday, a star is born for the Democrats, and MSNBC loved it this morning. That's all they could talk about. And obviously, Jimmy Kimmel is rewriting the health care law for the Senate. And I say that in no disrespect, because I'm not a late night talk show host. Maybe I should. Maybe we should do a late night talk show host. I should do that. I should come out to an opening monologue. We'll come on at 11:30, and then I can do a late night show. We can have all kinds of guests. Don't look at me like that. They film in the afternoon. So don't, I just got to look like, really? You're serious? 11:30? It's not happening here. Okay. I know the look. That's right. You know that's the look I got. No, I don't think so. But, maybe we should do a late night show. I think we should have pets come in, remember on the Johnny Carson show, what was his name? We used to come in and bring all the different pets. We'll have different guests, different comedians. Maybe we could take late night back to where it was funny. Maybe we could. It's a chance. Anyhow, so Sally Yates, Michael Flynn, Russia, the dossier, the sanctions against Russia, on and on and on. They're trying to make a star out of Sally Yates. Now, Sally Yates is the former acting Attorney General after Loretta Lynch left. She was in the interim at that time. There's Sally Yates. She was in the interim at that time as the Attorney General until Jeff Sessions got appointed and his nomination was confirmed. And Sally Yates is the famous one that said, "No, Mr. President, although I work for you, I will not instruct, our Department of Justice will not instruct our people to uphold your travel ban." So she became a big cult star there with the left for doing that. They all want to know who unmasked Michael Flynn's name to the Washington Post, and the mystery of why they got rid of Sally Yates. Okay, these seem to be, and do I have a Clapper and Yates? Okay, here is, now, God knows, now there's a team you can trust, right? I'm looking at this picture, and I'm looking at Trump, let's see, have Yates answered on Flynn leaks to oath? Under oath. I can't see that far. So Trump has Yates answer on Flynn's leaks under oath. Donald Trump sent out a tweet yesterday saying, hey, why don't you ask her or both of them Who leaked Michael Flynn's identity, unmasked him to the Washington Post? So, and they were asked that question. But every time I look, I see Clapper, James Clapper, and Sally Yates, and I'm thinking, there's a real honest, because we know Clapper lied already under oath. We know that in the past, right? So we're thinking there's an honest group. But that being said, Clapper said that I can't find a direct line of collusion, all right? And there's a lot of testimony yesterday for dramatic effect, okay? I'm serious. I mean, your government has become a TV show. And that's just all there is to it, folks. And you're going to say, yes, and we elected a billionaire reality TV star, you know, to headline the show. Okay, maybe we did, all right? But your government's a TV show. For the most part, these committees, I mean, these men and women go through their hair and makeup, and they're all ready, and they're prepped with the lights and the camera and action, and they know when they ask these questions, and the people asking the questions know that they're on TV, and it's you know, for the older generation, it's just a great episode of Perry Mason, right? Or Ironside. That being said, you know, he said yesterday, Clapper said, I can't find direct line of collusion between the Russians, a direct line between Russia, Vladimir Putin, and Donald Trump. Can't do it. They're not going to. No matter what they do when they get done with this, there's nothing. But I'll tell you, okay, they keep talking about the chaotic nature around the president, the White House out of control. Let me tell you what they're trying to stop, okay? I will tell you what they're trying to stop. I'll tell you their diversion tactic. I'll tell you why they are trying to bring this president down in a different way. Now, let me give you a quick example. Let me set this up first, okay? This is what they're not talking about. Put up the motor voter. We talked about this yesterday, okay? Now that's President Bill Clinton, not going backwards, but that's President Bill Clinton signing the motor voter law, okay? Now this is how we need to pay attention, and somebody's going to say, well, should you not be sensationalizing everything that's going on today just like all the media? Do you really think you're going to have viewers or retain viewers or grow the audience by actually telling them things to watch for 10, 20, and 30 years in this country? Because if you thought that Donald Trump got elected and he said everything he said on the campaign trail, and there was some kind of magic pixie dust, let's not get into the senators that would enjoy magic pixie dust, okay? But some kind of magic pixie dust would be put all over Congress, and within 100 days, we would erase 8 years of Bill Clinton. We would erase 8 years of George W. Bush. For those of you that upset you, I'm sorry. I wouldn't mind erasing 8 years of George W. Bush, okay, and actually having a conservative president for 16 years, okay? We got 16 years of spend, and they're still doing it, okay? 24, okay, with Obama. But how can Trump in 100 days erase 8 years of Obama, 8 years of Bush, and 8 years of Clinton? Now, let me tell you what I want you to, now there's a reason to stay with that for just a minute, okay? Folks, you have not had a president, maybe since Ronald Reagan, that is trying to right the ship like Donald Trump. And on a daily basis, the media is trying to attack him with Russia, trying to attack him with, you know, throwing diversion in there, Steve Bannon, trying to attack him where the Kushners are concerned, trying to attack him with environmental issues, trying to attack Donald Trump by this spending bill that he didn't get anything he wanted, trying to attack him on the health care bill. But in no way whatsoever are they actually seeing what Donald Trump is trying to do to turn the country around. I mean, when you decide that you're going to redirect an aircraft carrier, okay? I say this unknowingly, but you could be on day 3 still talking about this aircraft carrier turning around. This is not a small task. You do not turn this area. You can report maybe that an aircraft carrier has been turned and redirected to the, to the South China Sea or the Korean Peninsula there. On Monday, and about Wednesday you could say it's now headed in that direction. That is somewhat of an example of what Trump has to do here. So let me move on. There's a reason. Bill Clinton signed the 1993 motor voter law. Okay? On the day he signed that law, folks, there are judges that will be appointed all over this country in the lower court. We get into the weeds. We get into the weeds on the Supreme Court. Yes, on the Supreme Court, we're all very happy Gorsuch was picked, okay? Very happy. But we don't pay enough attention to the lower court where the travel ban shows up in the 9th District, where some of these rulings show up, transgender bathrooms. I mean, the list goes on, okay? Of the things that show up in the lower court that they're legislating from the bench. Now, we all know liberals, okay, have wanted to have said, hey, if we don't have the House, it's not the end of the world. If we don't have the Senate, it's not the end of the world. If we don't have the White House, we don't like it, but it's not the end of the world, because what we could do is we still have our legislative powers on the bench in this country. We know that, okay? Even George W. Bush, please do not look at a judge and say he was appointed by George W. Bush and say that is really a conservative, because in the lower courts, that's not really the case. What happens in the lower courts are most of the judges are recommended from maybe the local the governor of that state, or maybe the somebody in a liberal circle will recommend that to the president, and a lot of times they go with it. That being said, and it's usually called senator pick. The senator of the state gets to pick these lower court judges and send them up, like to the White House. There's a lot of different ways it happens, so let's not argue over that. Now, the lower courts, the liberals know. See, the Republicans have to win in 100 days. They judge themselves 3 months, 6 months. Liberals, progressives have a plan. And, since Woodrow Wilson, we'll go there. Progressives have a plan that if they get out of power, okay, if they get out of power legislatively, they will then be able to use their legislative power from the court that they have established. Now, the courts are untouchable. You can't say anything. It's a lifetime appointment, which I disagree with. I'm sorry, I disagree with lifetime appointments to the bench. I think there should be a term, there's no election, and you go home, period, okay? So that's just me. But the courts are untouchable because you have this lifetime appointment. It's almost like, well, that's the judge's ruling. You have to go home and deal with the judge's ruling, all right? Well, for the American people, what's left when you get to the Supreme Court? That's it, right? So you just have to accept the judge's ruling. So we became accustomed in this country, okay, and we've been brainwashed in this country that, hey, court said it, that's it. We have to walk out of the courtroom knowing that's what the judge said, okay? Then they also know that they can legislate from the bench, and do what they want, and we have been brainwashed to accept that. We have. We've been brainwashed to accept that, and lifetime appointments. So what has everybody missed this morning? Not missed, but should be at the top of the list. So before I go to break, so Bill Clinton here is signing the 1993 motor voter law. In 1993, that is the new voter registration law, which allowed people to get their driver's license and register to vote. That allowed people to register by mail. Recently, the importance of this, recently we have a judge, is it Judge Batten? Is that his name there? Is that the name? We have the North Georgia Federal Circuit, Judge Timothy Batten, or is that his name?
Yes.
Okay, put that one up, Sam. Now, this judge here upheld that night. He's a federal judge. He is a George W. Bush appointee. I get so tired of just assuming that if George W. Bush appointed it, that the individual, the judge, is a conservative. Not so. This is a George W. Bush appointed judge to the North Georgia Federal Circuit here. And this judge decided to open back up registration in the 6th District for voting in the special election between John Ossoff and Karen Handel. Okay? And the argument there is, I think it's Section 27 under the 1993, I had it yesterday, 1993 law, voter registration law, that said the states had to allow voters to register up to 30 days before a federal election. Okay, we had the election for the seat. So the determining thing is, and it's always been this way in Georgia, not always, but you know, somebody said, I read in an article, this goes all the way back when Democrat Kathy Cox, which I like Secretary of State, I like Secretary of State Kathy Cox, former Secretary of State of Georgia, goes all the way back to former Secretary of State Kathy Cox administration as Secretary of State in Georgia. That being said, is it the seat? Is it the open office? Is it the election? Or Georgia's always treated it 30 days before the actual election for the office. Then, if you don't win, Georgia is a 50 plus one vote state. You have to get 50% plus one vote. So in the 18 candidate race for that seat, there is a runoff between Republican Karen Handel and Democrat John Ossoff, and the runoff is set for June 20th. So this federal judge says, oh, that's a new election. So you have to reopen registration for that. So the contention is, was the election the first time? The first time, April 20th, I think it was, 18th or 20th, was that the election for that seat? And after that, the only ones registered for that election at that time should be eligible to go back and vote in this election for those candidates. Now, the sticky part there is, if you're registered to vote and you didn't vote in the first time, you can go now and vote because you were already registered. So a lot of confusion, but the important thing that I want to put together when I come back are the 10 judges, lower level federal judges that Donald Trump appointed yesterday. Okay? Nominated. Didn't appoint. He nominated them yesterday. 10 judges. We're going to go through each one when I return yesterday. And the point I'm trying to make is 1993, Clinton signs the law. 2017, a judge that was appointed by George W. Bush. Remember, this is back before Barack Obama, so it was like 10 years ago, right? A judge in the way back upheld or found what Bill Clinton signed into law as he made a decision in our election. So the sensationalizing Sally Yates and sensationalizing the news of the day and what's going on right this second and trying to bring you some kind of chaos, the actual turning the ship in America is taking place in the courtrooms. We have to stop the legislating from the bench, And Donald Trump is well on his way of doing that, and not many people are paying attention. We're going to look at those 10 judges right after this break.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Family-owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices,
friendly service, and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey in Ellijay.
Better days ahead. At Days Chevrolet in Jasper, we make everything better. It all starts with a huge new Chevy selection. Then we heap on the discounts to make sure your Chevy price is the lowest you'll find anywhere. And if you like great customer service, you'll love it at Days. Bigger selection, lower prices, easy financing, and great customer service. Your better day is just ahead at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show, the voice of rural America. And you can catch this show every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. On Fridays, we're at Sycamore Crossing in Blue Ridge, do a live show there. We change some things up. At 9 o'clock on Friday mornings, we have our all-star political panel. You're welcome to come down and join the panel. Send me a message, 706-889-9700. Tell me you'd like to be on the All-Star Political Panel, or you can come by and say hello to us at Sycamore Crossing. We have our friend Clay going to come by and play a couple songs on his new mandolin he bought. He played some music on the banjo last week for us. Played some music on the banjo. And we have our Pet of the Week on Friday from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. That's Friday morning, 8 to 10. Now, at 10 o'clock here every morning is the Katie Sassine Show, and you don't want to miss the Katie Sassine Show every morning at 10 o'clock right after our show. Yes, I know Vladimir Putin is putting on a parade of power. I know all those things that are going on that the sensationalizing of the media is putting out there to stimulate you today. But what I would prefer to talk about, is I have it right here. I had it ready. Trump moves to get more conservatives on the federal bench. Okay, this is from the Associated Press. Trump moves to get more conservatives on the federal bench. The Trump administration on Monday named 10 judges and other law professionals it plans to nominate for key posts as President Donald Trump works to place more conservatives on the nation's federal court. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer said that among the candidates are individuals previously named on Trump's list of 21 possible picks for Supreme Court justice. All nominees would require Senate confirmation. So let's go and look at first of all, we're going to go quickly through all 10. So let's look at John K. Bush. This is one of the appointees that President Trump taps Louisville conservative John K. Bush to the court, a Louisville lawyer who heads the local chapter, sorry about that, an ad jumped up, right? A local chapter of the Federalist Society. Folks, this is what we have to turn. This is the aircraft carrier that we have to maneuver, is the lower courts. Okay? No, I don't like the spending bill. No, I think they should have went through with cuts. You're going to have to separate Congress and Donald Trump, sadly enough. You're going to have to say, those damn Republicans. I'm sorry, because Donald Trump is not your conventional Republican over here. He's not. He's going to say what he wants, how he's feeling in the afternoon. He's going to say it. But the Republicans in the House, the Republicans in the Senate, they are the ones that can clearly, change the spending. They're the ones that can clearly fix Obamacare. The things that Trump can do himself, you look at and judge him on the things he can do himself and see how you come up with stacking up how he's doing conservatives. The Louisville lawyer who heads the local chapter of the Federal Society, a conservative legal group that has tried to move the national debate on gun rights and campaign finance to the right, has been nominated by President Donald Trump to serve on the U.S. Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals. And that is Mr. John K. Bush. Okay? We may not be able to get into a long on each one. Let's go to Joan Larsen. I think is her name, Joan Larsen. Okay. President Trump names Joan Larsen to U.S. Sixth Circuit. Michigan Supreme Court Justice Joan Larsen is headed to the federal bench pending Senate confirmation, White House officials confirmed Monday. Larsen, who during the presidential election campaign appeared on a list of prominent nominees to the U.S. Supreme Court, was nominated Monday by President Trump today to the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals. The Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals is based in Cincinnati, handles federal appeals from Michigan, Kentucky, Ohio, and Tennessee. Larsen, a former attorney, University of Michigan attorney, and advisor to the administration of former Republican President George W. Bush, was appointed to a Michigan Supreme Court by Governor Rick Snyder in 2015. She was on the 21. Now remember, okay, this lady, by the way, she's a lady. I mean, just saying, Donald Trump, I mean, it could have been all 10 white males, but anyhow, she is a lady here. Joan and she was, during the presidential election, she appeared on the list of potential nominees. Now, we hear the 21 nominees came out of the Heritage Foundation or groups like that that put that 21 list together. She was on that list. Just say it. Just say it. Can you say Russia 3 times fast? Or could you say we've got to move this aircraft carrier called the legislating from the bench? What is Trump doing? Now this is my man right here, because I found these guys. This guy here. Let's go with anyone. I don't care. David. What did we say his last name was? I got that. Stras. David Stras. Okay. Oh, you gotta love this. Okay. I mean, I just show me another one. This is David. Show me another picture of David. Oh yeah. Obviously, the guy likes to explain in the courtroom. Go ahead. One more. Oh, leave it there. This gentleman, Minnesota Supreme Court Justice David Stras, nominated Monday by President Donald Trump to fill a vacancy on the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals, is described by colleagues as a scholar who could build bridges with colleagues on the bench. A longtime member of the Federalist Society, a national conservative group, Stras surfaced last year on a list of potential U.S. Supreme Court nominees for the new president. So, Trump's using the list that you and I vetted. We vetted this list. Remember during the campaign he threw out 21 names? And we vetted those names. And you remember the Heritage Foundation, conservative groups, he's using the list. He's checking it twice. I had to say that. That made my dad get to say he's checking the list twice. All right, well, if you didn't like it, you know, to hell with it. Anyhow, this guy, right? Here's another one. Huh? This is not big news, because liberals, progressives are quaking in their boots, because this could be the turn of the aircraft carrier. You see, when they lose an election, when they lose the House of Representatives, when they lose the Senate, when they lose the White House, they still can fall back on legislating from the bench. They can still count on those liberal black robes to come out and rewrite justice for all, to rewrite the Constitution, to rewrite at any given time to fit the progressive direction. But we could turn this ship. Let's see if Mitch McConnell will do what he has to do to get these judges through the Senate. Let's see if he'll do it. Okay, so this is our guy here. Gotta have that. Love that one. All right, let's go to the next one here. Amy Coney Barrett. I guess that's her name, Barrett. Amy Barrett. You got her up there? Okay. Oh, another woman. I just get caught off guard. You know, Trump and the old white guy thing, you know, I get caught off guard if I ever see, you know, a woman in the picture. So, South Bend Tribune, Notre Dame law professor nominated to U.S. 7th Court of Appeals. Amy Coney Barrett, the research chair law professor at the University of Notre Dame, has been nominated to the 7th Circuit of Appeals by Donald Trump. Barrett teaches and researches in the area of federal courts, constitutional law, and statutory interpretation. Her work has been published in leading journals, including Columbia, Virginia, and Texas Law Reviews. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Before joining Notre Dame faculty in 2002, Barrett clerked for Judge Lawrence Spillman of the U.S. Court of Appeals in the District Court, and for U.S. Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia. Okay? Now, Antonin Scalia as an associate at Miller, Cassidy, and LaRosca, and Lewin, 19 partners in Washington, D.C. She litigated constitutional, criminal, and commercial cases in both trial and appeals court. She was a law clerk for Antonin Scalia. Just saying. Let's go to the next one. Kevin Newsom. Kevin Newsom, I think he's out of, is he out of, let's see. Wait a minute. Who is, this is Bradley. Oh, no, I got it. I'm right. You're right. God, I got to quit saying that on the air. Kevin Newsom, this guy here, a decade, now this one I like for a decade after the American lawyer singled out Birmingham attorney Kevin Newsom, then Alabama 34-year-old Solicitor General, as one of its Fab 50 litigators under 40. Newsom is still on the rise. On Monday, the New York Times cited an anonymous White House aide reporting that President Donald Trump intended to nominate Newsom, now chairman of the appeals group at Bradley Arent Balt Cummings in Birmingham, to fill the vacant seat on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit. If confirmed, Newsom would succeed Judge Joel Dabney, who took senior status in October 2013. Okay, let's see. I was going to see here. I had it here just a minute ago. Let's see. I thought he. Yeah. Now remember this, folks. When we were talking about Supreme Court, okay. Now Gorsuch, I'm very happy with Gorsuch. Okay, very happy. Neil Gorsuch, very happy. But Pryor, Justice Pryor, right? Now you remember that was my pick, Pryor. But we knew Justice Pryor from Alabama would not be the Supreme Court nominee. We just knew that was a little push maybe over the edge for Pryor. After earning, Newsom clerked first for, let's see, on the U.S. Supreme Court's 9th District, Supreme Court, David Scooter, where is clerk? After his Supreme Court clerkship, Newsom joined Covington and Burlington Appeals Litigation Practice Group in Washington. He was there 2 years before being appointed in 2003 as a Alabama Solicitor General by then Alabama Attorney General Bill Pryor. Pryor was appointed to the 11th Circuit in 2004 and was on Trump's list of potential nominees for the U.S. Supreme Court. So this guy is a Bill Pryor type, okay, coming up that Bill Pryor lane there. This Mr. Newsom. There's another one. Interesting. News is not talking about this, are they? No, they're not talking about the courts. David Nye, may not be able to stay too long on all of these. I have some things for you. This is David Nye. Trump renominates David Nye for a long vacant Idaho federal judgeship. He has been nominated a couple times. President Trump on Monday renominated Judge David Nye to fill Idaho's long vacant 2nd U.S. District position. Okay, let's go to, I don't want to stay there too long. I got a couple more. I want to make sure, because we're hitting late in the day. What was my next one after David Nye? Scott Palk, right? Let's see. Let me get down to Scott Palk. Sorry about this, folks. Scott L. Palk of Oklahoma will serve as the district judge on the U.S. District Court of the Western District of Oklahoma. Palk currently serves as the Assistant Dean of Students and the Assistant General Counsel at Oklahoma University College of Law in Oklahoma there, a position he has held since 2011. Mr. Palk took this position after 19 years of public service at the state and federal prosecutor, where he worked on death penalty. Now this one, listen to what he worked on. If you don't think Donald Trump's serious, you see, the swamp's over here. Congress, you know, you got to muddy through that water. Senate, you got to go through there. There's this big swamp out there, okay? If Trump gets up, if President Donald Trump gets up this morning and the decision is based on his advisors what information he puts together, and he has the final say. This is what we're getting, America. When the president has the say, this is what we're getting. When the president says what he wants and he sends it down to Congress, Congress is the one. I've often told you, the American people are not going to hold Donald Trump responsible for Congress. You will believe that later. Rural America will not hold Donald Trump responsible. That's why Trump still polls 96, 98% with his voters, because they're not holding him responsible. You are intelligent voters out there. You are Googling things. You know Congress is you know the dirty deals. You know the backlog. You know who's spending the money. Okay? We don't have 30-minute newscast at 6 o'clock that says nightly news, and there's a 3 to 4 minute news clip that says, oh, this happened today, and then you have nowhere else to get your information. We have places to get their information. There's places like this show right here that will go through these 10 judges and that will talk about the difference from legislating from the bench and actually what takes place when Donald Trump, the President of the United States, gets an opportunity to make the decision. So let me get back to this gentleman here, Mr. Palk. Here's what I like, and this is where I got off, where if you don't think Trump's serious, okay, position for 19 years, public and state federal prosecutor, where he worked on death penalty, organized crime, and terrorism cases. Okay? These people are going after these criminals. Okay, let's go to the next one. Don't want to run out of time. Wait a minute. That's not Dar.
Damien Schiff.
Is that him?
That's Damien Schiff.
That's who?
Damien Schiff.
Oh, that is the next one. Oh, I went one too many. I got out of line. That's not the first time I've been out of line.
I was going to say, no surprise there.
Wow. The audience is shocked to find that out, that I've lost my place. They're shocked. Okay. Damien Schiff of California will serve as a judge on the U.S. Federal Court of Federal Claims, okay? Damien Schiff is currently a senior attorney at the Pacific Legal Foundation, a nonprofit legal organization based in Sacramento, California. Mr. Schiff has an extensive experience litigating cases concerning a variety of federal and state environmental and land use issues, including Sackett versus U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, a groundbreaking decision which the United States Supreme Court upheld the right of landowners to challenge Clean Water Act compliance orders issued by the Environmental Protection Agency. Hell, you say. It ain't possible. It ain't possible that we're putting a guy up. Let me read that again, because I'm stunned. Okay, let's see. Sackett versus U.S. All right. He litigated cases concerning a variety of federal and state environmental land use issues, including Sackett versus U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, a groundbreaking decision in which the United States Supreme Court upheld the right for landowners, love it when the right for landowners is in a sentence, okay, to challenge Clean Water Act compliance orders issued by the Environmental Protection Agency. Huh. Hell, you say. Trump appointed this guy? I thought the whole damn White House was in chaos. I thought it was a mess. I really did. I thought they were running around the West Wing saying, who's in charge? And then, this massive, chaotic White House delivers a list of 10 judges like this. How did they do that? How did they find the time between finding out if Michael Flynn called Vladimir Putin to have tea? How did they get the time? What the? I mean, that was just way out there. Okay, what's in the? What's not another woman? How dare? Oh, another woman in the mix here? So it's just not white guys, the privilege, white privilege. There's some white women. Okay, what did we say this lady's name was?
Dabney.
Dabney, right? Dabney, what's her last name?
Friedrich?
Yeah. I'm going to have this one. I wanted to read. I misplaced where Dabney is here. Okay. I've got to find, I'll just find it here. Dabney L. Friedrich of Washington, D.C. will serve as a district judge on the U.S. District Court of District of Columbia. Dabney Friedrich has a lengthy career of distinguished public service. Most recently, Ms. Friedrich served as a commissioner on the United States Sentencing Commission, where she established sentencing policies and practices for federal criminal justice system. Let's see, Congress review changes in criminal status. Prior to that, Mr. Counsel for George W. Bush, as Chief Crime Counsel to Senator Orrin Hatch, Assistant Attorney, Virginia. Okay. I had another article on this lady that I wanted to read, and I will read that later. I've misplaced that. And I think this will make number 10. Okay. This is not last and not least, okay? This is not why the black guy got to be in the back. I'm just saying it because there's somebody out there, there's somebody that their job is to critique things on a daily basis and look at every little thing and try to find something wrong. But I just did the 10 in order of the list, okay? This is Terry F. Moorer. Is that his name? Yeah, Terry F. Moorer. Let's go with that. Now this pick, I like all 10. I think Trump's 10 for 10. I mean, you can't beat that when you go 10 for 10. You just can't beat that. I mean, it's like this picture here. Stay with this just a minute, okay? This judge is also from Alabama, okay? The other Alabama nominee is Judge Terry F. Moore of the Federal District Court of Montgomery. Sworn in as a magistrate judge in 2007, Moore is expected to be the nominee for the U.S. District Court of the Middle District of Alabama, a retired colonel. Thank you for your service, Colonel. A retired colonel in the Alabama National Guard. Moore was the primary architect of the Alabama Code of Military Justice. Put his other picture up if you don't mind. He has a J.D. degree with the University of Alabama Law School, a B.A. degree from Huntington College, as well as an A.A. degree from Marion Military Institute. Listen to this. I love this one. I tell you, it's Trump Day again. It's almost like today's not Wednesday, is it? No. Damn. So it's Trump Day. Prior to his appointment, listen close. Why do I always have to tell you how close to listen? Listen close. Prior to his appointment as magistrate judge, he was an assistant U.S. attorney in the Middle District of Alabama from 1990 to 2007. From 2001 to 2007, he served, I love this, I love this sentence. He served as the lead task force attorney for the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force, where he was responsible for coordinating the investigation and prosecution of major narcotics trafficking. 10 for 10. Trump has gone 10 for 10. That's what they don't want to talk about today. That's why they're diverting your attention and trying to get you all upset over Russia. That's why they keep talking about Michael Flynn. That's why they won't shut up about a damn thing other than sensationalizing the news on a daily basis so you don't see, because they're working, they're trying to figure out if they can destroy Trump, they can destroy this. This is what's going to hurt them. I'm your host, BKP. I'm going to take a brief break because it's going to give me like 3 minutes when I come back. And then I'm going to do a shout out to two great young men. Take us a break. Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia, Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance